Now, what I've noticed is that there's a couple of places where I've noticed that the momentum behind this has decreased. And I think basically familiarity breeds contempt. It's just that it's been around for a decade now. The reasons for this are the same as when it started. The effectiveness is probably greater than when it started. And the cultural importance of it, I suggest, is also probably greater. To therefore address that, Mike, if you post in, first of all, here's some simple sort of like 50-word testimonies to give you some of the stories that show the kinds of effects that this has. And you could copy and paste those out of our Hope Project annual report, which I have a print of. I'm just going to randomly choose some and read them. Having been given a booklet by a friend, an intrigue was stirred. Upon reading it, the request came for a hard copy of the New Testament. I feel a desire to learn about Jesus and his teachings. Another requesting a hard copy of the Bible said, I've never owned a Bible. I believe there's something out there. I'd love an opportunity to learn. This would give me the opportunity. Could I please have one? A young lady, young mother with children, clarified, my parents have never been religious or anything like that, but I feel something's missing. I've found myself trying to find a Bible, and I've never read one or known where to start. She then said, basically, our booklet arrives, she reads it, she's like, I want this, and then there's an offer of a Bible, and she's so excited because her search for a Bible has finally found a way to be fulfilled. A gentleman wrote to us from a prison. I think it was near Invercargill. There must be a prison down there somewhere in that area. And he simply said he'd been given a booklet and these stories had inspired him to give his life to Christ. And so again, what can I do to grow in my faith? This is the turning point of my life. One of the stories I really enjoyed this last year because it was unique. We got a photo of the booklet. A booklet. Can you see that messed up booklet? It's been in the rain, dropped on the ground. It's been eaten by snails. And would you believe someone's walking along and sees it, feels intrigue, picks it up and reads it. And then they'd been talking with a friend who was suicidal and they thought, this is what my friend needs. This booklet's just full of ideas about hope. And so they contacted us just, is there any way we could please possibly get a clean copy of this for me to give to my friend? And I think the simple point there is that every effort makes a difference. Even a discarded booklet can potentially change a person's life. So this is connecting with people well beyond the purview or the vision of a lot of our church activities and programs. And that's one of the reasons. There's 10 reasons we've written down this year why this has value. And Mike, if you want to just copy and paste the summary of that article, please, into the chat. And I'll take you through the 10 reasons just to remind why we do this. Hope Project, first of all, keeps the Christ in Christmas and Easter in the public view. Freedoms of speech and religion are a case of use it or lose it. There are people with long-term strategic intent to remove the Christian dynamics from every aspect of our nation. To note that the nativity scene imagery was all removed by town and city councils nationally by about a decade ago. There was a 15-year period, and I think you can still get angels. You no longer get Jesuses and Marys and Josephs and wise men and shepherds and these sorts of things. How did that happen nationally? There are people who are strategic who work with intent on 10, 20, 40-year timeframes. So we need to be aware of that and engage. These are religious festivals to preserve the Christian dynamic in this nation from government because Christianity gave us our values. And we've got to tell these stories. Secondly, it influences perspectives by highlighting our faith is still alive and well. Most people have no connection to a church in an average year and hardly to a Christian message. This breaks through and they go, oh, the churches are still there. It influences public perspectives to show the faith isn't all bad. If a person's far from our community ministries and other church activities, which a majority of the non-church population are, they might believe the narratives because there's so many negative stories told as compared to positive about the Christian faith in public media. And it sits in the innuendo of public media and TV programs and our university educations in particular. Number 4, it catalyzes a genuinely national prayer walk. It is quite remarkable when you consider the ground that God's people cover. Number 5, it provides a platform for churches to get the gospel to most homes in their own city. So it's not Hope Project that delivers the booklets. It genuinely is God's church united in each place that sees that done. And that's by itself, I think, actually is a legitimate reason to do the entire effort. People need Jesus. Number 6, this can redeem community ministries that don't otherwise communicate the Christian message. The outreach budgets for those who've been around a few decades of many New Zealand churches back in the 1980s and 90s were turned into community ministry budgets. the gospel is very hard to find in many church community ministries. This puts the gospel in connection. Oh, this booklet, oh, that's what those people at that church believe. And it helps to redeem. It's a part of a picture where we work together. Number 7, the delivery gives people new experiences in outreach. Jesus sent out the 12 and then the 72. In our surveys of churches in prior years, more than half of all churches who responded had involved their youth in the delivery. So there is discipleship wisdom in our churches, and this is being a part of that with younger ones. Sarah here took the Sunday school out that she helps lead to all go delivering. Number 8, it's a unique national catalyst for annual outreach equipping. It's possible there has never been a catalyst for outreach equipping as big as this in our nation's history. In fact, that's most likely. But what's also distinct about it is that it's not like a one-off event where everyone does outreach equipping once. This is year after year trying to encourage a culture whereby pastors will lead in mission. If the pastor doesn't bring the mission of the church to the pulpit, it's never really going to be in the church or in the people. And so this is about pulpit-based and small group reinforced and in the youth group, getting annual equipping on our mission and how to engage. Number 9, it would be measured. The lowest survey we did through partnering churches showed about 30,000 people equipped by their own pastors. So that would be a low number in that picture annually. Number 9, it catalyzes testimonies which add momentum to outreach. Many smaller churches struggle to have any testimonies of someone engaging a conversation with a non-Christian about the faith. You go delivering, you can't help but bump into someone, especially if you do so on a Saturday morning. And number 10, it helps church unity. Think through how to shift from just our relationship, our talk, our prayer, and our in-house activities and prayer gatherings to actually how do we unite to do something for our city. And I think in the process, we discover how easy a citywide effort can actually be. So for the full article, there's a link there. And again, if you're engaging with people and there's a lack of enthusiasm, things seem to rise and fall significantly on vision. If we're not seeing the reasons for it, we lose momentum. Our role as leaders is to share vision. The stories are probably the most powerful thing, but those other points might help as well.